All right. Thank you for all of those who have joined us right on time. I appreciate you, caring for the time. This is Shobhit from Great HR. Uh, we have officially started our event for today. Like you know already, we're going to be talking about how to simplify employee insurance for small businesses with the help of our friends from Pazcare, right? Now, why are we talking about this topic? Because we think choosing the right insurance and benefit plans can be one of the most confusing yet critical parts of an HR admin role. By the end of the event, we hope to clear up your confusion when it comes to choosing the right insurance plan specifically. And just to support my statement, the landscape of employee insurance is changing very, very rapidly in India, especially for small size companies. According to a report, only 38% of small companies in India offer comprehensive health insurance to their employees. Yet, majority, 72% of employees now expect some form of medical coverage when considering a job offer. I'll let that sink in and I will go to a poll question just to understand where all you are coming from, what kind of companies are you coming from, just so we can tweak the content of the webinar for you. The poll will be up on your screen in just a few moments. It should be up on your screen right now. It says, what size is your organization? Option number one, less than 50 employees, or 51 to 200 employees, 201 to 500 employees, and the last one is 500 plus employees. When you answer this question, we will be able to tweak this event according to you. Tell you exactly what would fit given the size of the company that you come from. I will let the poll question be on your screen for just a few more moments. But just for Abhishek's perspective, we're getting a lot from less than 50 and 51 to 200. So those are the majority of the answers that we are getting. Now I'm
Great.
ending the poll question and going back to the next slide. Please, Pinkasha. Right. So now we've talked about it can get confusing, but we are also coming with some solution as well. The good news is that we have our friends from Pazcare here in the call who are ensuring that any company can get a better employer-employee relationship by enabling them to give better benefits without breaking their bank. In today's session, you will learn what you really need to know about group insurance, how to choose the right plan without overpaying, best practices for onboarding, educating, and supporting your employees, and how Great HR and Pazcare can simplify this entire journey for you. And apart from that, just for some hygiene of this webinar, in case you have any questions, and I know in employee insurance is a topic then can get really, really confusing. So you see a big Q&A sign right here on the bottom of your screen on Zoom. There's a section for Q&A. It is dedicated for you to ask your questions. Please ask us your questions. We have another team member from Pazcare monitoring the chat in order to give the answers to your question live. Don't wait. Give us your questions and we will answer them. And last but not the least, we have a dedicated time right at the end of the webinar for the event just to take your questions live, right? So keep asking your questions. We will keep answering them and take them up in the later stage as well. Now that I've told you about both these things, just for the last slide, please, Pinkasha. One very important thing that I wanted to tell you was that the recording of this webinar will be shared with everybody who's attending and everybody who registered for this webinar. And we are giving away 5 Amazon gift cards to our audience members who are the most active in terms of asking us questions throughout the event. So please ask us your questions. We've incentivized it for you. We are waiting to hear your questions. Next slide, please. Now, another poll just to understand where all you're coming from. The poll will be live on your screen in a moment. It should be up. You should be able to see it. The question is, how are you currently managing employee insurance? The first answer is, have you started it yet? Haven't started it yet. Second is exploring options now. Already have a provider, or you're looking to renew or switch. These are the four options that are present on your screen. Haven't started yet, exploring options now, already have a provider, looking to renew or switch. And just a reminder, I've already shared this before. We will be sharing 5 Amazon gift cards worth 1,000 rupee each to people who are the most active in this event, be it like with poll questions or asking their questions to us. All right. Abhishek, the overwhelming answer coming out is they already have a provider, but and the second favorite is they haven't started yet. I'm ending the poll now.
Cool.
Yeah. Can you go to the next slide? Yes. So when we said we have friends from Pazcare here with us, I meant Abhishek, right? So Abhishek has been living and breathing employee insurance for past several years, and I feel very lucky because I got to work very closely with him while creating this event, just to understand how employee insurance really works, and just to simplify any doubts that you have. So Abhishek, please give a hello to our audience, and we will be right
Hi,
sharing the next.
good afternoon, everyone. Abhishek from Pazcare. Really happy to see so many people joining in. We have curated it accordingly as per the poll results what we have got. We'll love to walk you through that.
Awesome, awesome. All right, next slide, please, Pankasha. We have tried to make this webinar more and more engaging for you. You will keep getting polls. We have another poll coming right up on your screen. I've launched it. You must be able to see it now. Um, how would you rate your current employee benefits program? Is it excellent, like your team love it? Is it good, but there's a room to improve? Or is it average, could be better? And the last choice is poor. You yourself understand that you need a major upgrade. So again, repeating that question, how would you rate your current employee benefit program? Excellent, good, average, or poor? Abhishek, we are getting a lot of good and average. That's the overwhelming majority in terms of poll answers. But we have some outliers with poor and excellent as well. Yeah. All right. Uh, just sharing the results with everybody in the audience, if you can see it as well. Good is the majority, while average are also there quite a bit. So stopping sharing my screen with the polls and letting Abhishek have his day. Abhishek, take it over, please.
Cool. Again, thank you for having these polls. Sets up makes it easier for me to have a talk track around this conversation. Just to bring in some perspective, what we would be covering, everybody who has joined the webinar, we would be trying to demystify a lot of confusing parts around running great employee benefits program. And I just wanted to mention why I am doing this, that with my 4 years with Pazcare, building Pazcare from scratch, I have constructed around 2000, constructed and consulted, reconstructed 1500 plus policies with employee sizes from 7 to 7,000. So I would like to bring in a lot of examples from the policies what we have done, and then try to make it a list, little jargon filled, without any jargon filled conversation. But if you still feel that there are few questions, we have the question and answer section. You can keep on putting in. Shreya is there to take up the answers, and at the end of the session also we'll like to talk about them and pick up few questions which were not answered properly in the session. Just to talk about a little around the structure, because we see from the poll that a lot of people already have policy, and there are decent amount of people voting in that they are doing it for the first time. So we'll structure it in a way where we talk a little bit about for the people who are buying it for the first time or executing it for the first time, how do they look at employee benefits, what they should look at, like what could be an approximate costing as well. And similarly, for people who already have a policy or maybe have a first year responsibility in terms of renewing it, what you can look at, how do you look at the cost that you are not getting overcharged, and what could be few of the red flags which you can look into your policy to monitor and manage. All right. Just going by the first slide, picking up something very basic. Why employee benefits? I mean, like, just let's think about employee benefits as something which is just smart. Like, it is not something which you want there. It is a very important necessity today. If you can just look at the report of NDTP, what we have tried to mention, 4 in 5 employees in India find it very hard today uh, to hire. And of course, benefits becomes your edge when you are trying to do it. So just don't think about buying a coverage, but think about constructing a policy which is also a talent retention tool for you as well. Of course, majority it helps you in terms of attracting, retaining talent, boosting productivity, enhancing employee well-being altogether. Uh, Going to the next slide.
All right, I'll launch the next poll. Just 1 second. This should be up on your screen right now. Abhishek, the poll says, what's your biggest challenge in buying group health insurance? The options are finding the right coverage, staying within budget, explaining benefits to employees, managing renewals and claims, or not involved in the decision making altogether. Once you know people are able to answer it, I'll share my screen and show how the participation is. But I can tell you right now, staying within budget, Abhishek, is one of the biggest challenge in buying group health insurance for our audience right now.
Cool.
And a close second is finding the right coverage. All right. I'm ending the poll now, just sharing it so everybody can see it as well. Abhishek, staying within budget, like I said, highest, finding the right coverage is the next.
Cool,
All right.
cool.
Over to you, Abhishek.
So I'll just remove the thing. Like I mentioned, we would like to first pick up the pyramid of benefits, like when we are thinking about benefits as a holistic thing. Um, I mean, like, you can assume it to be a pyramid with core insurance at the base. But the real impact also comes from primary and preventive cares, because today wellness is just not physical. Of course, mental wellness has become very, very prominent, and preventive cares have also become very important. If you can see the screen, when we talk about core insurance, inpatient department is the most uh, important thing, which is ideally any hospitalization which is um, coming out, and you are required to get hospitalized for 24 hours. That is where a group health insurance comes into play. Of course, there are few daycare treatments as well, like kidney dialysis, chemotherapies, which does not require 24 hours coverage, but GHI also covers that. um, Again, something called group personal accident, very, very popular from an employee perspective. Anybody can meet an accident and have a loss of pay also, because maybe because of an extended leave. So group personal accident, of course, it covers an accidental death. Along with that, it also covers loss of pay because of an accident, temporary disability, partial disability. Everything is covered under that policy. Group term life has been taking up a lot of relevance post COVID era. Again, it covers death, any kind of death, and when you are buying it as a group for your company, it ends up covering, I mean, like, something very critical as suicide also. Uh, we have also put in some approximate cost of implementing these coverages. I highly recommend that these should be the base of any kind of employee benefits what you are starting with, like where, specifically where a lot of people have mentioned that you need to start with. So this is something which is there. On a primary care piece, of course, creating a very small employee benefit OPD wallet really, really helps. Yes, it comes with a substantial cost of in terms of inclusion, but there could be humble beginnings with certain structured capping around the wallet, because not more than 5 or 6% utilize an health insurance policy, it really boosts the morale when I can actually go out and basically claim medicines what I buy, or maybe radiologies which I get done. Yes, it would not cover everything, but definitely gives them an option to claim certain things. And of course, preventive health checkups these days, or preventive measures, are becoming more and more important. I mean, like you see the popularity with marathons which are there, and employers opting for more and more health checkups. Earlier, it was only mandatory for manufacturing organizations, but now what we see in IT segment also, employers are choosing for a couple of health checkups throughout the year, thereby identifying any kind of underlying problems and trying to avoid hospitalization as well. That is being done by a lot of care plans today, which are available, like where there is a diabetes control, thyroid control plans, which can be extended to your employees by a lot of providers. Of course, Pazcare also does that. So next.
Just before I go to the next slide, I wanted to know from the audience members how much have they been able to relate to what you said. I've launched a poll which says, have you explored adding wellness or mental health services to your insurance benefits? These are for admins who already have insurance, or people who are exploring insurance, employee insurance right now for their employees. Uh, so we have the participation coming in already. Uh, most, uh, the highest answer is haven't considered it yet. And the one afterwards is didn't know it was possible. So that's what our audience is saying, Abhishek. They haven't considered the mental health service yet, and they a lot of them didn't know it was possible. But promising signs, some of them already offer it to their employees as well, or plan to offer soon. All right, ending the
Great.
poll and just sharing the results on your screen just so everybody knows, right? Haven't considered yet is the top one. All right,
Cool.
over to you, Abhishek.
So because it was around mental wellness and I mean, like health checkups as well, just trying to add that today IRDA has anyways mandated for people who are already having insurance policies. You can check with your current vendors and insurance providers. Ideally, mental wellness programs are ideally covered, and anything which is related to hospitalization technically are covered. There are few policies which has some nitty-gritties around consultings as well. Maybe you can go out and explore and then try to educate your employees as well. uh, the most popular way of executing this today is that having online concerts, because it is quite private. A lot of people who are still suffering ideally do not like to just go out and walk and talk to somebody. Online exposure gives them an easier or more comfortable way to start with it. So that is the most popular way of executing that today. So that's something what you can look at or look for or inquire as you go about choosing maybe a mental wellness plan for your employees. So we go to just understanding a basic and different elements of the group medical insurance. What you today see on the screen are the major levers what you should look at when you are executing your policy, or like how do you want to understand your policy. Of course, price and pricing has been mentioned in one of the polls, but you cannot compare price without comparing the structure, right? So the most important thing is policy type. Ideally, you see only three structures in existence, which is one where employers only cover the employees. The second is with the employee spouse and children. And the third one is employee spouse, children, and parents or parents-in-law. And at few cases, for a very bigger organization, you would also see parents and parents-in-law both are covered without any selection basis. We can keep this slide on. It can give you some exposure around what kind of prices you can expect for people who are buying it for the first time or trying to execute it. Because I do see a lot of people who are executing it for the first time, because lack of awareness around how the pricing would work out. End up trying to get a lot of things. But here, a very standard coverage around 3 lakh and 5 lakh, we have tried to mention what would be a per employee per month cost. You would be able to visibly see the difference that it moves to a 3-4x kind of a cost as soon as you add parents in the policy, because parents are more prone to claiming the policy. That's the reason those are most costly. But again, while you're considering structuring your policy or starting your policy first time, always consider parents. Uh, the cost can be looked at in a way where the employer wants to bear it, or it can be shared with the employees also. Why I am saying that? Today, in a retail policy, it is very difficult to find any kind of parental policy. Even if somebody is ready to write it, the PED waiting periods are very, very high, as long as 4 years. So really does not give you coverage from day one. With group health insurance, of course, you have that benefit from day one. You can have all the coverages, and that's the reason more and more employers have parental coverage in the policy. And I mean, like, of course, when the cost comes from a company's perspective, they share the cost with the employees. So that's one piece around the major element. We can go back to the slide once more on the elements. Some in short, we have spoken. Ideally, 80% of the organizations what we are servicing in Pazcare, and also when I benchmark it against the country, you would see those sum insureds varying from 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs only, because an average claim size varies from 90,000 to 1.5 lakh. Uh, Maternity coverage for people who are buying group health insurance for the first time is also very critical. Again, one very important element which you do not get covered in a retail policy. If you get that covered, you would ideally see a 9-month waiting period or very high premiums for first 2 years to include that into your retail policy. Uh, then again, copay, again, a very interesting cost controlling measure, because I feel a lot of people did speak about how do you control the cost. Like if you are running a parental policy, copays are go-to things. Like because today in India, none of the hospitals have any incentive to control claims. I'm sure anybody who would have faced any kind of hospitalization, first time you go to hospital, they don't even give you the projected cost until unless you tell them what kind of policy you are having. And basis that, they come out with a package so that they can churn out more money from the insurance policy. And I'll cover a lot of piece around how claims impact your policy. I'm sure people who are already having policy would know that claims is something which decides the next year's price. So keeping a copay discourages hospital pushing the employee for a, a randomly, let's say, a higher package, whereby that impacts the claims of the company. And then of course, we were talking about room and room rents, which are there, which is also very, very important. There are two types of rooms in the policy, which is spoken about: the standard room and the ICU room. You would ideally see them at a structure of 1% and 2% of sum insured, or 2% and 4% of sum insured, and no capping also. When I say 1% and 2% of sum insured, that ideally means, example, if you have taken 5 lakhs as a cover, uh, 1% of that means 5,000 allocated for standard rooms, 2% means 10,000 is allocated for ICUs, and similarly 2%, 4%. And when you say no cap, there is no capping to the room. I see a lot of HRs who has come from this less than 200 employee organizations, likely choosing no capping, but just wanted to highlight that with no capping, of course, you are exposing your policy to very high claims as well. Like I mentioned, the story about hospitals not having any kind of incentives for controlling the claims. Ideally, if somebody just wants to go for a simple kidney stone replacement, the hospital may end up pushing your employee to go for a suite room, thereby impacting your claims at 5x, 6x, rather than what he would have probably used if he would have gone into a standard room or maybe a twin sharing room. So that's that. Those are the most important aspects of when you think about the room rent and the elements of the GHI policy. Uh, Now, what you see on the screen is, of course, we have been talking about and the policies what we have constructed, reconstructed, and executed. Top 25% have a coverage up to 5 lakhs. Top 10% also extended up to 7.5 lakh, with combination of top ups or employees bearing an additional cost towards increasing sum insured. Again, room rent, if you would see, top 25% would have 2% and 4% as sum insured. Only top 10% would go into no capping, but this no capping comes with some kind of copay already in the policy. It does not happen that they do not have any control measure and also go about a no capping on the room rent, so which can end up costing very heavily on the policy cost next year. Talking about that, top 25% would have ESCP with 2 children, and top 10% where you see, of course, parents are included along with the parents-in-law also. And you would see very high utilization, and we are seeing copay trends for policies which have parents in them. 25% of them ideally would have 5 to 10% copay in order to discourage any kind of claims bleeding. So that's that, Shobit. We move to the next slide. Yeah. So now, something for people who would be maybe doing the renewal this year, like who have got the responsibility of managing this policy or go about renewing the policy. And I'm sure as soon as you are handed over the baton, the first thing your finance tells you that, hey, we paid, let's say, 5,000 rupees last year. We want to just manage this by another 10% increase in the cost, which is ideal from an inflation perspective, or a 7% or an 8%. But wanted to bust a myth maybe that it depends on the claims what you have incurred in your policy. If you can see, it's a simple formula. You can take a picture of this as well while you are doing your cost calculation this year. So whatever your claims are this year, you add whatever the lives have increased in that claims, and add another 10% towards something called IBNR. I will talk about this. This is called incurred but not reported claims. What happens in most of the policies, you would see 60 days of post-hospitalization expenses covered. So even if the policy expires and if this claim happened during the policy duration, these claims are payable. So insurer adds a loading towards this, and medical inflation, which is in the country right now at 11%, and something called TPA fees. These things are added. So example, your claims are at 10 lakhs, your life increased is 10%. So 10 lakhs plus 10%, which is 11 lakhs, and another 10%, which is 1.1 lakh. 12.1 lakhs or 12.2 lakhs is ideally the cost what you should target, what you should also uh, tell your finance that because of the claims, this is the price what it is landing, until unless we go out and tweak the terms, reduce the coverage to hit the target. Or and similarly, you can talk to your vendors, like who are coming out and posing you very high cost, and you can always talk about this. Cost it always works, very standard formula. You can just use when you are going about renewing your policy this year. Yeah.
All right. Another poll question up on your screen. It's more of a like a quiz that Abhishek has been telling you, educating you all about uh, how to calculate the premium, how to go about with uh, policy decisions and terms. Right? Do you think group health insurance premiums are taxable for your employees? There are only two options. One of them is right. I'm not telling you which one right now. Option number A is true, while option number B is false. So, Abhishek, for your perspective, overwhelming amount of responses are coming in for option number B, which is false. So maybe we can
Right.
use this again for your myth busting section.
Cool. Uh, I mean, that's exactly correct. Like when you talk about GHI, of course, does not have any kind of taxability for employees, because of course GHI premiums are directly borne by the employers. So the pretty aware client, participants who are there on the forum today. Uh, the only thing is that when how you go about collecting the premium for, let's say if you choose certain kind of participation in terms of cost from the employees, that is when you have to figure it from your salary reduction and things like that. But still, like of course, it remains tax free for the employees. So that's pretty simple. I mean, like a great poll though. Yeah. We can go to the next one. So right now, we also wanted to talk about. We have spoken about benefits as such, and we have been talking about a little bit around OPDs. We have been talking about doctor consultation, mental wellness, and we also saw from the poll that a lot of people are already executing a lot of benefits. My question to them would be that how you guys are executing it, because a lot of time delivering or like allocating a lot of benefits to employees remain unutilized. because the delivery is patchy. By that, what I mean is that for doctor consultation, you have to download another app. For OPD, you have to download another app. For example, if you have to go about mental wellness, of course, you have to download another app. So that way, the whole delivery system breaks. And what at Pazcare we do is that we have an all-in-one app. Like everything is executed from this, right? From your claims, e-cards, doctor consultation, health checkup. We also have a very strong integration with the TPAs and insurance companies. Just to provide some information here, yes, you get network hospital list from all your providers, but let me tell you, it is not static. Every day, certain hospitals get delisted and new hospitals get listed because it is contractual, like year-long contract, 2-year-long contracts are there in place with hospitals and insurers and TPS. So what we have is that we have a clear integration with them, and from midnight you can get the updated list of hospitals, thereby employee not ending up in a hospital which is probably got delisted yesterday or day before yesterday or a month ago. So that's also something which Pazcare really helps. One of the bigger challenges for employees when it comes to reimbursement claims is understanding the documents what you need to submit. Like I'm sure a lot of people in the forum might not understand what is a discharge summary. So we also have a tool in the system where you can file paperless claims, of course, depending on the insurer what you're picking. But the app is also capable to read and give you information that what are the documents missing, so that you do not end up uploading and waiting for 3 days to just hear back that hey, your documents are missing. So that is something what we uh, do, and it's available on the app. Uh, I believe that is something which we wanted to talk about. All-in-one app really helps in terms of delivery of all the benefits which you are trying to execute. I would like to take Sashank also coming in this, and maybe talking a little bit about how we have a very seamless integration in place with Great EHR as well.
Yeah, Shashank, just a minute. Sorry to cut you in. I have, I've been putting up poll questions all throughout the event. I want to
Okay.
put one more up.
Yeah.
Right? It would be up on your screen right now. How often do your employees ask questions about insurance or benefits? There are four very clear choices. First is weekly, second is monthly, third is rarely, and the last choice is almost never. Most of the answers that they get healthy participation, very neck competition with me or health, which is like two terms. Okay, I'll be in the poll now and over to Shank. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shobit, and thank you, Abhishek. I'll be sharing my screen. Just let me know if everyone is able to view it. Just give me 1 second. Hope you're able to view my screen. So yeah, now I have logged into the Great HR admin dashboard as a HR admin, right? So this is the landing page of the admin dashboard. As you can see here, there is a 9-dotted menu where you can access the Unite Marketplace, right? This is where you can find the menu item or Unite Marketplace CTA. On clicking that, you will be directly landing onto. Just give me 1 second. It is session time. Don't just give me 1 second. Yeah. So now we are able to see the marketplace here. Right. So the marketplace was integrated or initiated with a view where we simplify the HR admin processes in managing the multiple aspects of an employee life cycle. Right. So that's how we have curated the applications here. And one of the categories that we have integrated is corporate insurance here. As you can see here, we have integrated corporate insurance. Under that category, we have Pazcare. So as an HR admin, for me to find out more about Pazcare, I can click on View Details. So I'll be able to see the landing page of Pazcare, right? Here, what we have done is we have curated particular information that helps helps HR admin make a decision and understand better on what suits them best, right? Now, just to give you a couple of highlights on what is the integration about and what is the value of using Pazcare through Great HR. The first and the foremost thing is the SSO, where the HR admin need not go out of the Great HR platform to manage the insurance of their employees, right? It can happen within Great HR with just one login. You need not maintain separate credentials for it, right? The second thing being auto endorsement, that is deletion and addition of employees, right? So you need not do it manually. So the moment you add an employee to the HRMS, automatically they'll be endorsed, and the moment they are offboarded from the HRMS, they'll be deleted from the endorsement, right? So this also is built in. So as a HR admin, once you have all this information, and if you feel, if you want to have a discussion or want to know more about this particular vendor or application like Pazcare, you can click on contact app. You fill a very simple form on what do you want to discuss about and when do you want to do it, and you submit. Immediately, a Pazcare team will get in touch with you and take it forward. They'll clarify any questions that you have, right? Once you have that, in a very simple process, you can get started with enabling this application on your Great HR dashboard. That as you can see here, you can just click on get started CTA here, where you'll be able to see multiple fields which are pre-filled, right? So the system automatically pulls in your data, and it will be pre-filled where you can change it or edit it, right? Now, coming to the permissions part, like I mentioned, the two value propositions that we are going to get with this integration, right? So for that to work, you need to provide certain permissions like company details, employee dependent details, and employee income details, which will be passed on to the vendor, right? Now you just need to provide that, accept and proceed, done. Now the Basket team will get in touch with you, and they'll enable the application for you within a day, right? Now, similarly, as soon as this is done, in a similar way, how an admin access this application, your employees also can access this application from their ESS portal. So we have built integration such that even they need not go out of Great HR to access this application. Right. Thank you. Over to you, Abhishek and Shobit.
So thank you, Shashank.
Great, Shashank.
Just 1 second, Abhishek. Sorry to cut you. Like the audience members saw Shashank giving a mini demo for Pazcare in the Great HR platform. Shashank, if you could just float up the form.
Yes.
Just for our audience members right now, we wanted to know if you're interested in learning how Pazcare can streamline your employee insurance management through Great HR, specifically with the nuances that your company has, right? So Shashank has shared a form in the chat. Shashank, if you could share that, please.
Yes.
Basically, you put in your contact details and experts from Pazcare will reach out to you to assist, right? There's a form, the only 3 bits of information is what we need: your name, phone number, and email ID, right? And it's not a salesy push, but basically to understand your company context and how employee insurance, which employee insurance plan could be a perfect fit for you, right? If you feel like filling it up, please do that. And Abhishek, sorry to cut you. You can go back. Shreya or Pinkasha, if you could share your screen, please. I think there's an exciting portion coming up.
Yeah, so just to add what Shashank just did, and a lot of people who are already managing group health insurance and people who are looking to buy group health insurance today, the biggest problem for the admin in the HR team is adding and deletion, which is like employees coming in and employees going out. So wanted to just put in some context that this integration with Grady and Pazcare, or for that matter, like if you have any other provider also, you can check with them that if they have an integration with Grady. It helps you a lot having that integration in place. Today, that sending those documents or details about the employees who have joined today or like left this month is very, very important from a policy perspective. If you're not adding them, the claim might come and they might not have coverage. And for people who have already left, and if you're not shared the deletion, it is going to cost your company because you are ending up paying the premium for the days they have already left. So example, if Abhishek has left the organization on 2nd and by 28th you have not done the deletion, you're ideally paying premium for Abhishek for 26 days extra, like even though he does not exist in the company. So this is a very important seamless tech feature. Definitely saves your time and also money. So definitely look out, like irrespective of your choosing and talking to Pazcare about this with your current vendors as well. Like if there is an HRMS integration in place, can they talk to Grady people and get that integrated? Really saves a lot of time for you guys. Cool. So we can move to the next section. Uh, we have something called curated plans on the screen right now. This is specifically for people who are looking at buying new policies, or maybe people who are reconsidering restructuring their policies. Uh, of course, we have tried to create this basis the data points what we have of all the policies what we have created today. A low cost policy would always be something which does not cover the parents. I mean, like when you are very, very cost sensitive uh, and you feel that maybe the company would not cut out a lot of budget, ESC is the way to go about executing any kind of health insurance policies. Uh, with a 3 lakh rupees coverage kind of a situation. Similarly, a pocket friendly would again be without parents, but a 5 lakh sum insured is something what you can look at. There is a comprehensive plan where you start including parents into the policy with a very nominal capping on a normal room. ICU can be no limit because of course ICUs are very, very critical. Uh, you can keep small cap on cataract, which is 30,000, which you can see here, and maybe a joint replacement at 1.5 lakh. Let me explain this. Cataract cost, I'm like folks who have probably joined in from Bangalore, I can talk about that because if you call any high hospital today and you ask for what would be the cost of cataract treatment, ideally the cost varies from 25,000 to 35,000 for a Bausch and Lomb lens. Uh, Again, going back and recalling the conversation what I had in the earlier stages, that the hospital asks you what kind of policy you have. Now, if you do not have this kind of capping for for a parental policy which is running, hospital would push you for a something called a Japanese lens, which is like, let's say 1,50,000. Ideally, it is nowhere superior than the Bausch and Lomb lens, but it would end up costing you as much as probably how many 5 employees might have claimed for cataract. So very, very important to put a cap on cataract. Look for this while you are renewing this year. Check the claims which are coming for cataract. Check how many has been misutilized and things like that. Similarly, for joint replacement, an ideal cost for one knee replacement varies from somewhere around 1.2 to 1.8 lakhs. 1.5 is more than a decent coverage. Uh, why we are saying this? Always think that insurance is a benefit. It is not a luxury. Of course, there would always be anecdotal cases. There would be claims which are 10 lakh rupees. There could be critical things. But this is how you probably make a sustainable policy which does not bleeds year on year. Your cost does not increase 200%. And again, strongly recommending 10% copay for the parental name. And something as a super comprehensive plan, you can go for a 5 lakh sum insured, having a higher maternity limit. Still suggest cataract and joint replacement there because parents are involved. These are the couple of things where you see the GHI policy getting misutilized by the hospitals where most of the push happens. So that's one recommendation what we have tried to show you on the screen. Going to the next one. Do we have a poll here?
Yes, we do have a poll here,
Okay.
launching it, Abhishek. It should be up on your screen, everybody's screen. The
Yeah.
poll says, what's the one benefit you wish you could offer your employees right now? Options are better health insurance coverage, gym membership subscription, mental health support, flex or customizable benefits, parental coverage that Abhishek was talking about, or OPD dental vision care. We also have the last option being all of the above, right? Uh, I find the options here quite varied and the responses also being quite varied, Abhishek.
That's
Uh,
fine.
but I think all of the above is the the majority response. People want every single thing, so it's good to know that. Uh, and close second is better health insurance coverage. Uh, I'll end the poll in a bit, and I'll put the result on your screen as well. But Abhishek, I had a personal curiosity whether,
Yeah,
with the help of Pazcare, what kind of
yeah,
benefits specific companies have seen. So I'm ending the poll now and sharing the results as well. Like I mentioned,
yeah,
all of the above is the clear favorite. And over to you, Abhishek, if you could share some case studies with our audience.
yeah. Just I was just looking at the polls and case studies which are there. Uh, the reason why we have brought in some case studies here, the idea is not to talk about that how Pascare has solved it. Uh, a lot of time we see in the policies which we are trying to renew, and when the clients really approach Pascare and we are able to read the claims, a lot of time we see the rejections in the claims have happened because they were not contested enough. And I do not believe a lot of people do not know, like, can they contest a rejected claim or not. So these are some examples where we are talking about a situation where somebody had a 30% copay for not using cashless facility. So just to give you uh, some awareness for folks who have joined in, that a lot of insurance companies and a lot of insurance policies penalize you if you do not use cashless facility, which is at a cashless hospital. Example, XYZ hospital you visit is part of a cashless list, and you because the hospital also pushes. They do not want the insurance settlement, which usually takes 7 days or 10 days or 15 days. So they push you, tell you that hey, insurance approval might take a lot of hours. Why don't you just pay it yourself and go for a reimbursement? So a lot of times there are copays introduced if you are going for a reimbursement claim. That's the reason it is always important. I know a hospital was trying to sell you a story that the cashless might be taking a long time, but ideally the approvals, if the hospital has run everything right, happens in 90 to 120 minutes, which is like 2 hours. At few exceptional cases where maybe the discharge is taking some more time, it might get extended, but always stick to cashless. If it is a cashless hospital, do not opt for reimbursement. Also takes up the burden from you that you shell money out of your uh, pocket. All right. Uh, there is another case which was around NICU requirement at a smaller place where the current hospital did not have it. And of course, the employee was a little clueless. So these are, and the doctor suggested that the doctor needs an NICU. So you can always go back to your vendor and insurance company also to guide you with this, help you with this. So we have done that for our employers. And again, I feel uh, that this is something which you should also look at, like when there are anecdotal cases which are coming into your policy, and you can always go back to your vendor and insurance company. Do not shy away just because your claim has been rejected, or like you feel that you are lost in thought, like what to do next. Your vendors and insurance companies are supposed to help you in these situations as well. Cool. I mean, we can move to the next.
Yeah, I think yes. Yes, go ahead, Abhishek.
Uh, Of course, we wanted to talk about a little bit about that why smarter insurance benefits does not really mean expensive benefits. Of course, we saw the pool where everybody wanted uh, all kind of benefits. There could be very small tweaks in your policies which can cut out the budget for executing all of that. What you were able to see in the last poll, which you were just looking at. And we have done this poll, and most of the times we have heard like 80% of the employees are ready to switch companies if the benefits are better. I'll give you by an example that today a lot of startups try to hire tech people, a lot of AI startups which are coming in. They are hiring folks from very big organizations where the employee benefits are very, very comprehensive. All right. So, irrespective of the salary jump, what they get, they still need an employee benefits as simple as a group health insurance, which covers parents. Because let's think about an employee who has a parent who goes for chemotherapy every month, which costs like 50, 60,000 rupees a month, which was earlier covered. Let's say if he was in at Microsoft, 60,000 was covered from the policy. He does not chooses a 30% hike or a 40% hike because he still knows that at 60, 40,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees a year, he has to shell out from his pocket. So we have seen a real example of an employer who had an ESC policy, and they were on a spree of hiring talented engineers and product managers, that they came out and they started rejecting offers only because their policy did not cover parents, and they came back and executed a parental policy. So that's one example which I really wanted to talk about. Of course, when you think about insurance benefits, of course, group health insurance has lower premium as compared to retail policies. No waiting period. Talks about how retail policies would have waiting period, but if you execute a group health policy, everything is covered from day one. Um, Definitely helps employees in boosting productivity if you are also adding preventive health checkups, small tweaks to curate maybe an OPD benefits. And as from the poll, what I remember, a lot of companies are, I mean, like a lot of people are here from employee strength less than 200. Tax benefit is also very, very critical. Today, employees are looking for more and more ways to save tax. We have a fantastic product in that very seamlessly integrated in the same app which we were trying to show. If you want to execute, let's say, an fuel wallet, food wallet, without the likes of Sodexo, because Sodexo ideally does not come for smaller organizations. So we have a fantastic product there as well. I mean, like you can definitely reach out to us. We would love to talk about that as well. So that's pretty much for the slide as well. Yeah. So, with any other poll, what you have?
No, no more poll questions, but a
Uh,
lot of actual questions, Abhishek. I think, Pinkasa, if you could just stop sharing your screen, I would go live with Abhishek one-on-one here. Um, I think one sort of a pattern that I'm seeing, Abhishek, is why is it necessary to get employee insurance, right? Like for a lot of members here in the audience, they truly want to like drill down that fact, like what is it in it for them?
so, the basic thing is, of course, how employees are choosing companies. The first thing is that, of course, there is a certain government regulation which came out after COVID. Of course, it is not very rigidly implemented and it is not getting audited today. But government also came out like anybody who is more than 7 employees have to execute a group health insurance policy, have to get their employees covered in some or the other way. So that is one mandate. But uh, I mean, like you can omit that, but I mean, like I am thinking as an employee, if you ask me that with my old parents, if I do not get a policy at a company where I'm going and I'm thinking about my dad's knee replacement coming up, uh, I would not consider that hike maybe that much as compared to like having a 5 lakh policy where both his knee replacement gets covered. So very simple. I mean, it does not really takes a rocket science. And just to talk about that, we have already spoken. You can execute an employee benefits policy for small teams as small as 7 people also.
Yeah, I really want to bring that fact out again and again. I think the unique proposition here from this event that you're getting is there's no company which gets, because of their small size, they can't have employee insurance. Uh,
Correct.
Companies as small as 7 employee members, Pazcare is providing employee insurance plan for them. So I think that's a really, really valuable thing that you're doing. The next question I want to ask Shashank, right? Shashank, we've been hearing in the event so far a lot about Pazcare's advantage and uniqueness that they have and the way Great HR customers can access it. Uh, is it that Great HR customers can only use, Pazcare as an insurance, or what is it about? Like, can they use other insurances? What's the unique benefit for them if they use Pazcare?
Yeah. Just to put it in very simple words, right? If you use it, if you use Pazcare or any other vendor, right? Like I mentioned, we have the integrations built in with great HR processes, right? Where your work will become simpler, right? You need not go around to multiple platforms and maintain different credentials to use all this, right? So it's available in one particular place where you can just log in with one credential, right? And also, like Abhishek mentioned during the webinar demo, where auto deletion and addition, right, which plays a major part in admin's role, where there might be a lot of mistakes which will cost you money, and also it'll save you time, right? So this is automated within Great HR. So this is with respect to value addition, why you have to use it through Great HR. Right. Shobit, was there a second part of the question? Sorry, I missed.
So I think people just wanted to know what are the unique benefits and if they can use other employee insurance apps as well, while they are a great customer.
Yes, yes. You will be able to use other. So we will have integrations with multiple other vendors as well, and we'll be open to suggestions from your side as well. Right. So if you want to integrate any other vendor or any particular vendor you're looking to have in Great HR, we'll be open to that, and we will get in touch with the vendor. Right.
Thank you for that answer. Abhishek, I'm picking up Hema's question.
Yeah.
For her in her organization, organization is covering 3 LPA coverage for employees, right? But
Yeah.
parents are not included on top of
Mhm.
that. Is there any possibility to add parents in that policy? They are willing to pay for parental coverage as part of their salary. So I know you don't have like the specifics here, like which policy it is and things like that. If you could just take like a stab in terms of a general
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Emma, I would just give a quick recall here because the policy structures are predefined. Ideally, three structures, which is employee, spouse, children, and employee, spouse, children, and parents. What it seems like your employer has extended without parents policy because you are feeling that you want to add. Of course, there is no selection allowed as such. Like I would not be able to go out and pick up parents for my policy and just add them. That is not how insurance companies allows. But you can always create a pool. You can, I mean, like we can also love to get into a conversation and try and explain how can this be executed where maybe the company does not spend the cost of parental inclusion and this could be passed on to the employees as a cost because you are showing that intent and 80% of the organizations today in the country would collect the premium at some point of the time, like maybe if it is the first year or second year, because the claims have not gone really high, company ends up bearing that. As and when the claims really start going up, the company are left with an option to continue with an ESC policy or start asking employees to bear the cost of the parental policy, which is very, very common. And this is something which we can come out, help your team understand, give them some curated pricings also, maybe just to have some kind of understanding on this piece.
Understood. Abhishek,
Yeah.
a question from Mustaq. Can we
Yeah.
start with a basic plan and upgrade mid-year if budgets allow or employee needs increase?
Uh, Unfortunately, Mustaq, that the GHI policies have a 1 year tenure. Whatever way you execute, you do not see any kind of transition midway. Definitely, while you are renewing it, you can do that. I mean, like, that is what we also suggest because you can have a humble starting and you can always upgrade. The reason why we have been constantly talking about that you should start a policy with some kind of cappings so that your policy does not go bad and next year you try to reduce the coverages. So always enhancing is easy. Taking it down is difficult. That's the reason we have been trying to instruct that what are the ways you can actually look at putting some caps so that ensure future claims are not really high.
Understood. Uh, Abhishek, kind of seeing a pattern here in questions. People specifically want to know for 50 employee organization, right? If you could just
Yeah.
paint like a general picture, what could potentially be a best option, right? I know you're not getting enough inputs in terms of what plan they want to select, but if you could just, give an advice for 50 member organization policy and the kind of costs they might have to incur.
Yeah. So we had a very snapshot of the price which is there. But if, let's say, my recommendation is always to enroll a policy with parents because, again, like I mentioned, employees can't buy it outside. Most of the employees can't buy it outside. When they're buying it, it's very expensive. Does not cover everything from day one. Uh, there could be a mutual understanding where the employees can start talking to the HR and say that, hey, we are okay to bear that cost with certain copays because with group health insurance, it becomes easier to execute it that way. But if we have to talk about 50 employees, per employee cost for just executing an employee policy would be approximately 2,500 to 3,000 approx for a 3 lakh sum insured. I'm talking when I'm assuming the demographics as 35-year old or lesser. I'm not talking like as ages increase in the policy, the premiums go high. I'm assuming it to be a 35 median for the company. If you are executing an employee spouse children policy, you can expect this price with maternity also included in the policy would cost you somewhere around 6,500 to 7,000. And in the same 3 lakh, if you add both the parents as well, with minor tweak of 10% copay and cataracts and knee replacement, like I mentioned, it's capped. You can expect the price to be 14,000 to 18,000 per employee for a 3 lakh coverage. So that's an approximate costing what you can expect.
Understood. Abhishek, thank you so much. I think it will be of great value to a lot of people who join the call. Uh,
Yeah.
I have a question which I think I have some bit of a bias towards. I
Cool.
really related very hard to your points of parental coverage, right? So Deepa is asking a question: if a company provides parental cover under GHI, can an
Yeah.
employee exiting the company continue the parental cover in his or her personal capacity?
Uh, yes, Deepa, you can do that because insurance companies provide portability benefit. By that, what you mean is that from group health insurance with the same insurer, you're moving to a retail insurer. Now, what happens when you buy a retail insurance? The retail insurance policies come with a waiting period of 4 years for pre-existing conditions, right? Example, Deepa, you have spent 3 years with this employer and have been part of GHI with your parents for 3 years, and you are leaving the organization after 3 years and you get to port this with the same insurer. Your waiting period, which usually if you buy it new in the market would be 4 years, but because you have spent 3 years in the policy, your waiting period would now become only 1 year. But yes, you would have waiting period. Now, assuming you leave the company after spending 4 or 5 years in the policy, then uh, you would expect the policy to continue as it is without any further waiting period until unless insurer really wants to put certain caps.
Awesome. Thank you, Abhishek. A question for all the people who are into fitness, Abhishek. Guru is asking, can you please explain about the gym membership that you were talking about in one of the slides?
Yeah, with somebody like Pazcare or like any benefit provider, what you have, because today they are managing so many employers. The whole thing with gym memberships is that we get it at a very subsidized price because we are supplying a lot of pool to them, and that's the reason the costs are lower. What we try to do that is that if as an employer you are executing it for all your employees, the cost substantially reduces like 50-60% in terms of what you would otherwise end up paying. Of course, employer then collects it from employees via salary deduction. We have couple of partners with whom we do it. Of course, one is Cult Fit, and of course, the Fit Pass is also there. Different kind of modules, pay per use kind of basis, annual basis, a 6 monthly basis. We can do all that curation that the which we only do because of course we have that kind of volumes coming in for us. And uh, you can also go back to your current vendor and ask and seek for these things. I'm sure they would have. Most of the time we see that the benefit information is inadequate. That's the reason people are not aware what kind of offerings they can avail. Yeah.
Uh, Abhishek, another sort of a pattern that I'm seeing, this is, especially coming from a HR admin perspective. Uh,
Yeah.
One question from Bhakti is, can we add employees in the middle of the year to the policy if they just joined recently and they purchased the policy like 6 months back? Can they add those employees to the employee insurance plan?
Definitely, that is where the endorsement logic comes in. You cannot do addition for employees who probably you missed it out. I mean, like that becomes very difficult. Insurance company, when you're doing endorsement, which they call like this addition or deletion, they take your joining date. Like example, if the joining date is within 30 days of current, for example, today is 25th, and you are saying that somebody joined on first, of course, insurance company would accept that as an endorsement. You also get to add the new members in the family, which is basically somebody getting married and the spouse is coming in. Of course, somebody having a baby also gets added in the policy midterm. You don't get to add parents in midterm because insurance company does not allow that. They feel that, of course, they're adding only because the claims is going to come in. So, yeah, for any new member joining in midterm, endorsements or additions and deletions are possible.
Understood. a question coming in from Santosh, and this is from a company perspective, right?
Yeah.
The employee insurance, is this a cost that can be borne only by the company, or can like a company include this insurance amount to the employee CTC, sort of a breakup as well?
Uh, like I said, Shobit, that there are multiple ways of showing this. I'll not lie that there are good 20-30% organizations in the country who basically show it. The only miss which happens is that they allow selection. Like they say at times that you can choose to participate in it and not. Um, Ideally, if you are going to collect it from employees, you have to ensure that everybody participates, because selection makes the policy unsustainable within a year or two or maybe 3 years down the line. But yes, a lot of organizations does it, makes it part of the CTC, because again, if you don't do it, that if the employee is directly paying, it becomes a taxable thing also. It becomes a part of CTC, so it becomes easier to execute. But yes, a lot of people do that.
Awesome. Coming back to another question, and Abhishek, just checking in for the time. We are beyond our 1 hour, right? But we have a lot of questions that we've answered, and even more are coming in. I want to assure the audience one thing: any question that gets missed during the event, we will get back to you with an answer, right? So be rest assured, you will not only get a recording of the event, but also the answers to your question as well, right? Abhishek, any particular question or any particular topic that, given the kind of questions that we are getting, you would like to emphasize right now?
Yeah, so
Anything
I
that you want
saw
to
a
pick up?
couple of
Yeah,
questions,
yeah.
couple of question around um, that if whatever prices we were showing, was it including PED or not? Of course, we have been talking about GHI. GHI does not make sense without PED as a cover. So that was something which I spoke about. There was one question around freezing the premium even if the high claims, for example, grouping, pooling multiple SMEs in a single large policy. Ideally, that goes out of the purview of a group health insurance, and it becomes a membership plan, which you see with the likes of a few players in the market who do it. You do not see that. Of course, the only way to ensure your claims do not go high or stay stable is by executing a lot of caps, which we have been already talking about, likes of copay, room rent being capped, cataract, knee replacements are something which I spoke about. And there are a few people also asked about if we have existing policy, can we sync that in? I'm sure, like if you have your vendor, you can also get your gratis talk to them and check with them, like if they have the integration capabilities. It can happen. Of course, you don't have to wait to sign up with Pazcare, but if you do, we have a very seamless integration in place. Um and if there is anything, GP insurance for there is one more question. GP insurance for TTD, there is generally a cap for claiming weekly benefit. While this could help employees earning salary up to a certain level, it may not suffice for a higher salary bracket. Is there any way this restriction can be eased in GPA? So just to answer that, yes, it can be eased. Of course, whatever you elaborate in terms of coverage, it would cost you. If you feel that you are ready to pay as an employer, definitely these can be eased in, and the coverages can be made more exhaustive as well. But yes, that also impacts your claims next year. In
Understood.
yeah,
Abhishek,
yeah,
Pandurang flag off a question.
yeah.
Can we go with any top up here? If yes, what are the options? Also, is it coverage will be the same like a group top up policy, right? I'm not sure if I fully understand this question.
Okay, I get it. So what he's trying to ask is that what are the kind of top-up options here? Ideally, there are two kind of top-up options. One is group top-up, which is a direct extension of the group health insurance what you're buying. Covers everything exactly how your group health insurance is constructed. The only caveat is that if you are a 100 employee company, an insurance company would ideally want 40-50% participation. So let's say there is a price offered for additional 5 lakh coverage, like company is buying 5 lakh, and then additional 5 lakh, which Shobit and Abhishek intends to buy, there would be a cost to it. But out of 100 people in the organization or employees in the organization, 50 people need to buy it. That's a caveat. Uh, a great tool, lot of relevance in employee strength more than 200. And at times we have also seen that employers buying it directly for their employees also. But the other option is also super top-ups, which kind of operate similarly how retail policies work. But with super top-up, you see a benefit of lowered waiting periods and the premiums also being very, very small. I mean, like we have plans starting from 700 rupees a year for extension of 20 lakh rupees coverage. Uh, but yes, you have to wait for 2 years for pre-existing conditions like uh, heart conditions, BP, and sugar. But let's say somebody at an early age, 28, 29, 30, 34, buys it now. Within 2 years, after paying like, let's say 1600 rupees for both the years, from the third year, day one, he's covered for additional 20 lakhs by just paying 600, 700 rupees. So that also comes from a structure of thinking in our country. Insurance expenses are thought through as a cost or rather not as an investment. But yes, super top ups are great tool. Like if you have retail policy also, you can check with your insurer for top ups. Why? Because let's say if you have a retail policy of 5 lakh, moving it to 10 lakh would cost you a lot of money. But having a 5 lakh policy and buying a 20 lakh rupees super top up might end up costing you less than increasing that 5 lakh to 10 lakh. So definitely look out for super top ups, great tools. I mean, like if you don't have it already, please go out, check out, buy it. And Pazcare also has an option for that.
Awesome, awesome. So I'll take the last two questions. Bhakti is asking, can we get some document to understand few terms so it will be easy for us to understand? I can answer that question finally. Yes, Bhakti, post this webinar, not only we will be sharing the webinar recording with you, but we'll also share like a takeaway document as well that you can look at. I know insurance has a lot of terms that can get confusing and they're very, very new for most of us, right? So you will be able to look at the document and make the correct choices. And the final last question in the webinar for now, and let me reassure, any open question which has not been answered so far, we will reply back to them. We have Pazcare's help in order to reply to all of these questions. It's coming from Hanumesh Abhishek.
Okay.
And if only 10 out of 50 employees want to add their parents to the coverage, is that allowed?
So again, that becomes selection ideally. Insurance companies do not allow that. If that happens, like who is going to intend to add their parents? Like who know that there is claim probability there, right? So that's the reason insurance wants 100% participation, but also insurance considers that a lot of people might not have parents, might have single parent and things like that. So they relax it a little bit. So ideally, what I'm trying to say, if you have a 100 employee company, insurance company might be okay to not have 200 parents, but they would need somewhere around 110, 120 at least to write a parental policy.
Understood. Maybe I misled a few people when I said it was the last poll earlier. We do have like one final poll, and it is anonymous, right? And it's about this event itself. How would you rate this event? Uh, Great. I would love to hear more of that. Satisfactory, we will take note, and needs improvement. So we are trying to see if the kind of event that we are sharing with you has it provided you value. We want more and more of value to come to you. Uh, so yeah, please give us your honest feedback, and we will try to make this better and better as we go. All right, that's it. I will end the poll now. Happy to know that most of you selected great. All right, I think time to wrap this up. Abhishek, if you could have back with us on video, Pinkasha, Shreya, if you could share your video as well. So it's been a joint team effort across Great HR and Pazcare, and really a lot of work has gone behind creating this event, right? Thank you so much, not only to Abhishek and Shashank, but also Shreya and Penkasha for being, behind the scenes, but making this event possible. Uh, and I hope everybody who joined, they got a lot of value from attending this event. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a good time. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Great engaging audience. Thanks.
Thank you.